back in time today. Imagine it's 1895 and the only form of moving is through horse and wagon. Or let's imagine it's 1914 and the town's only form of entertainment is a little theater used for dances, gatherings, and those brand new silent movies. You're in for a double history treat today. Later on, we're going to be visiting W.P. Broms Moving Company, the oldest, most historic, and still family-owned company. I'm Maria Devins, your host with American Dream TV. You're in for a special treat with some really cool history. So let's go check it out. Follow me. I am at the beautiful Catlow Theatre, located in Barrington, Illinois. And with me today is Brian Long, the owner and the architect. This is Dan Regali. Brian, I know that you are also the owner of Long Jewelers, which is right across the street. What made you decide to purchase this beautiful theater?
Well, there's a lot of background involved in that. The architecture is definitely part of it. You know, I studied back in college history of Frank Lloyd Wright and Prairie School, and the Catlow was built and designed by a Prairie School architect, Alfonso Iannelli. So I always had a passion for it. My history with the Catlow goes way back to high school even. My wife, you know, I met in high school, and you know, we used to come here in the late 80s on dates, you know. We always had great memories of the Catlow. But from my office, I can actually see the Catlow. And when I knew the Catlow was going to be lost for back taxes and it was just going to potentially go away, who knows what, you know, we bought it to save the Catlow.
And what a great gift also, because it represents so much of this town. Tell me about the restoration process that you're going through. I know that you have done actually the Catlow Theater Foundation. Tell me where you want to go with that and what's happening with that.
Okay, so basically we started, you know, when we bought it, we just saved it. And then we started to look into what it's going to take to make this place great again. Essentially, is multiple millions of dollars, you know, that we didn't have, you know. So we started looking at plans for small theaters and how they're sustainable and what they can do. And really we decided that, you know, to make it a business can be risky. So we decided to make it a non-for-profit. We turn it into a museum in Barrington. That way there's no one pulling money out of here, and it can sustain at a much lower level because of that. So we started the Catlow 1927 Foundation. We, you know, our goal is to raise, you know, $6 million. We've raised like 1.5 million so far, so restoration has begun. The project is rolling. When we're done, it's gonna be a multi-purpose venue, still gonna be a movie house where we can play movies, but we can also have stage acts, plays, concerts, everything else. Have speakers.
That's awesome. That's wonderful. You've also got the Catlow East. Tell me how that came about.
So I own that building, you know, it's one of our spaces, and the former tenant, you know, left the space. And really a good time for us because it's when the construction really began here. And the vision was make that the headquarters. So that is the foundation space, but we also have Catlow merchandise that it sells. It's a retail location.
Oh, how fun.
And then we also meet, you know, me and Danny meet the architects there. We meet everybody over there.
And it's nice because the people can come in and look at all the memorabilia and be part of it by purchasing it and adding to, obviously, the foundation, which is so important for this community. And I know Barrington community is a very strong and a very tight community. And they're very proud of everything here. Brian, I want to thank you so much for being here. Dan,
You're so nice.
It was so nice to meet you. Thank you guys so much for being here. Absolutely. I appreciate it. Well, we just left the Catlow Theatre in Barrington, and here we are now at W.P. Broms Moving Company, right here in Schaumburg. Let's go meet Lynn Broms, who is the third generation of this moving company. We're going to talk to her about what it all means to her. Let's go. I am so excited to present Lynn Broms from W.P. Broms from 1895.
1895.
Oldest historic, still family-owned moving company.
Yes.
Extraordinary. What a journey this must be. Tell me which generation you are. Tell me who started it. How did it all go?
So I am, I guess we would say, technically third generation.
Wow.
My grandfather started it in 1895. He came from Sweden. He had an older brother, Oscar, who was working as well. They went into business together with horse and wagon. So it starts with horse and wagon. They are doing whatever you can put on the back of a wagon, which would be at that time coal, grain. That's why they were called Teamsters, was the team. And then my grandfather and grandmother, it became W.P. Broms, Inc. He took it over. The story goes that Oscar maybe liked beer a little too much and maybe was using the profits for the wrong thing. Then my grandparents have 7 children, who we are looking at here.
Okay.
And my father is the youngest of 7.
Oh my gosh.
And he had a brother, another Oscar, of course, who is born right around 1901. My father's born in 1920. I grew up with my aunts and uncles all working. They started, his first barn was at Grand in Ogden, and then ended up with another barn at 4315 West Armitage. It was the house, and on the side was the barn with the hayloft in it.
Oh my gosh.
So I was sure as a young girl I should be able to have a horse. That office stayed until around 1995.
Okay.
And then it was a barn and wood and falling down. So eventually my father started doing warehousing in Elk Grove in the 70s. So we had 2 places at that point. We had a warehouse in Elk Grove, the office in Armitage, and then eventually we just brought everything out to the suburbs.
Wow. Thank you so much again for being with us today. This has been so much fun today, learning about these companies, Catlow Theatre and W.P. Broms. Rich in history, both companies had the foresight for the future, and this is why they've stood the test of time. I'm Maria Devins, your host with American Dream TV. Until next time, stay well. Bye.